When we got Verizon 5G home internet, it sounded like it could handle all our needs.
But one thing it couldn't handle was our frustration. And hey, we deserve reliable internet.
It's time for better internet. Fast, reliable internet. Switch to Xfinity. Learn more at xfinity.com/Verizon 5G Facts.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs now in effect that will significantly reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. These programs, which the credit card companies like to keep secret, exist to aid American consumers struggling with overwhelming credit card debt by offering tremendous savings and real debt relief. Accredited Debt Relief has established a special hotline for you to call and learn what savings you qualify for. They've helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt and are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. So don't wait. Get the relief you need during these hard economic times. For this free information, call the Accredited Debt Relief Hotline now. Call 800-885-6677 or visit adrquote.com. That's adrquote.com. adrquote.com.
What is up, everybody? Tonight, you just get me. Tonight, I want to do something a little bit different. I've been thinking a lot about this, and I'm going to start something tonight. Something a little different that I'm going to kind of mix in, and probably end up dropping little surprises here and there for you. So, but what I want to do tonight is I'm going to call these series of these little mini mashups, so to speak. I'm going to call these reflections. Just some things that I feel like they are relatively important to acknowledge. Some of the stuff that I want to acknowledge is some of the growth of my own thought processes, some of the growth of my own personal perspective, and also I want to acknowledge and give credit to where those things came from, because I do listen throughout my days. I do listen to other podcasts almost most of the day, every day, and I listen to other people's stories. I talk to a lot of different people, and I listen to a lot of different people, whether it be through podcasts or people that approach me from this one. So I feel it only necessary to acknowledge that, because it's important. That I want you guys to be able to hear a little bit of true conviction here, and hear that it's not gonna stop, and that's my favorite part. I set out in this in the beginning of this adventure to seek perspective and understanding, and it's incredible that that's what's manifesting through this, and I'm super happy about it, and I'm super excited about it. So today will be the first of many reflections. So we talk a lot about, accountability and starting off on the right foot. Regardless of how big that step is, a foot in the right direction is a foot in the right direction, period. So that is to be spoken for. It is never easy to do. It is difficult. It is hard to change the groove that you're stuck in. And I can't even speak volumes of which groove that could be for you, because every single story is going to be different. But one of the things, amongst a million other things, that has been in my head for a while is I listen to John Bernthal has his own podcast. That's The Punisher, kids. That's Shane from The Walking Dead. He's got so many movies. He's in Shot Caller as well. He's an amazing actor, and even more amazing man. The more and more I listen to him, the more and more I would fucking kill for the opportunity to be able to sit down and talk with him. Not that my stories would probably not even gauge compared to half the shit that you would hear on his podcast, because he's really reaching out. He's really reaching into the shit. And he speaks to some really amazing people. It's one of my favorite podcasts to listen to. John Bernthal. It's called The Real Ones. He had a guy on, his name Chris Wilson. And Chris Wilson has a book out called The Master Plan. I really, really, really suggest that you listen to this podcast, look into his book, if not buy his book, because this guy and this guy's story is amazing. And we're going to get into a little bit why I'm going to kind of lead you into why I have the perspective that I have now, and how fucking amazing it is that things once again became full circle. So Chris talks a lot about growing up, in gang-infested areas and being a part of those gangs. Chris did a lot of years in prison. He spent a lot of time in prison. I don't remember exactly how much, but he was embedded in the system, from the get-go. He was set up for failure just like anybody else. And I remember distinctly he said, while he was in his prison cell, he locked himself in there for 3 days at the age of 19, and he wrote down things that he was going to be in his life. He wrote down things that he was going to do in his life, what he was going to become. He set his sights on a better life, no matter what it would take, and that essentially became his book, The Master Plan. So, he obviously is going to be able to tell the story a million times better than I'm paraphrasing, so I'm not trying to fuck any of this up, so I apologize. But, all in all, he came out and he did what he set out to do. He's I think he's older than me now. Again, he was 19 when he wrote down his master plan. And now he tries to help the youth that he once was, involved in gangs and involved in the shit areas that we get stuck in, and just he's doing everything he can to try and help everybody in the situation that he was in to avoid what he went through. And all in all, listening to him talk about his stories and hear his experiences and things like that, you get a lot. He shares a lot of insight into his life. Barely having parents, watching his mom get beat in front of him. He went through everything. He went through war in Chicago. He went through his own fucking war. And now he's so successful. He sounds like such an amazing person to talk to. And what I thought was really enlightening for me personally was the fact that through all of that, from his extreme to my extreme to anybody else's extreme that I talk to whoever else is going to be on, they're all different extremes and they're all different levels of your own personal turmoil and problem. He always comes back to the same thing that we always come back to, and that is talking through it. That is taking the smallest step that you can, or the biggest step that you can in the right direction, no matter how big or small that step is, and talking about it and working through it and telling your story. And a lot of the stuff that he said really resonated with me because it's what we're doing here. His perspective is so unique in contrast to mine. I don't have a clue about what his story looks like. I don't have a clue about what his story did to him. but it's a world apart from anything that I've been through. Extremely. So for him to say, without knowing, I've never spoke to this guy. I've never spoke to Shane or Jesus to John. I've never for them to be talking about such a horrible situation and a horrible upbringing, and to come back to the same resolution that we come back to here on this podcast is fucking amazing to me. And that perspective that tells you, the road to personal success has the same beginnings. It requires the same things, regardless of your extreme, regardless of your story. And I found it amazing. I found it so enlightening. I had to pull over when I heard it. It was just, the fact that every extreme situation is always going to come down to you needing to be able to have that conversation and to write it on your own. You're the only one fighting you, always. And that's what blew my mind. On such a bigger scale than I've had the opportunity to speak with anybody about. I got to hear it. I got to hear it on John's podcast, and I'm so grateful because it opened my eyes. And not only did it open my eyes, but it's going to open my outreach, and I promise you that. I'm going to have some guests on here that have some amazing stories to tell, and I can't wait for you guys to meet some of them. Because the perspective is real. The understanding is going to be amazing, and this journey is going to be, I'm going to push it to be so much more amazing than I ever thought it was going to be. Regardless of what I have to do, I'm going to push for it. Not just for me, but for you. And for Zach. And I wanted to come on and just, again, reflect a little bit about how that made me feel and the perspective that it gave me as a whole, because I think it's amazing. On a human-to-human level, he reciprocated the feelings that I've had, and he recycled the same exact thoughts that I have constantly on such a bigger scale, and I'm astounded that it goes that far. My mind is absolutely blown, and I cannot wait to have a little bit more opportunity to speak about so many other stories. And not only that, but to be able to help mend some of those stories. I can't wait. And I hope you guys are on the edge of your seats just waiting, because that's about where I am right now. In the midst of everything else that we have going on. God, that little fire under my ass, and I can't fucking wait. But until then, we'll just wait together. I still spend every day in the same environment that I have been, experiencing different people's turmoil and stress. I don't know, life has a way of showing you the direction that you need to be walking in, and I think that really spoke to me. I don't think this thing really is just going to shine for me. I think it's going to shine for just about anybody that wants to come in here and talk to me. And I feel blessed to have had this opportunity so far. So, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for reaching out. Thank you guys for everything, all the support, all the want. it's such a scary thing to want to do, but I find that more and more people overstep that fear and are more willing to want to do it than they are not, and that's truly amazing to me. So don't let the fear of talking detour you ever, because there are people that want to listen. There are people that want to talk to you. So anyway, that was my reflection. I'm going to keep it short and simple. I was inspired, and I hope that in some way, shape, or form, it'll inspire you to take a step further and go listen to Chris's story, because that's what he wants, and that's what he's trying to do. And then, as always, stay tuned. I'm going to be doing a lot more reflections. I hope Zach will. And we're going to have more interesting stories coming your way, more interesting guests. So, thank you guys again for listening. As always, you can catch us on Facebook, YouTube, Me vs. Me podcast, Instagram, and shoot us an email if you have any questions, wants, concerns, anything like that. Me vs. Me info at gmail.com. You know how to reach it. Blow it up. I love you guys. Thank you.
Leftovers, or the DMV, number 97, or house cleaning, or Chumba Casino always brings the fun. Play over 100 different games online for free from anywhere. You could redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. Live the Chumba life. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Leftovers, or the DMV,
Number 97,
or house cleaning, or
Chumba Casino always brings the fun. Play over 100 different games online for free from anywhere. You could redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. Live the Chumba life. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.